Okay, greetings. Okay. Okay, I think we're streaming everywhere that we're supposed to stream. Yeah, the system I have, they had a bit of a change recently. So here we are. I didn't go into anything yesterday, due to with Trump, the witch hunt going on. I'm not going to go into that too much. It's kind of messed up. just I don't know. I mean, they have to throw him in jail to, I mean, literally put him in there physically. I don't know if they can do that, but they might. We'll see. But this whole classified document thing, it's just, I don't know, whatever. He's not the only one that's done that, and they're all okay. So Hillary Clinton's okay. So yeah, it's pretty messed up. I guess there's something about Canada and was it a laser that started the fires? I haven't really looked into that. Like if there's an actual video of it. I know in California, way back, like what 2017, there was like something from the sky that hit, and then all of a sudden fire started, and it was just the fires. The outcome of the fires in California are very unusual. Like the trees were okay, but everything else was burned down. It was really weird. So there was some kind of energy weapon stuff going on there. So Canada, I mean, yeah, it's a high possibility. It's like you can't trust anything of the mainstream, obviously. So yeah, they're saying, I guess in the newspapers they're saying there's no lasers ahead the sort of the fires. It's just odd. It's just how it's affecting the U.S. There's some kind of agenda there that's not making itself clear. So there's something going on with that. It's whatever we're going into. It's not revealing itself if it ever will. So I'll try to tap into. I don't know if we can get anywhere with it. Some things you just can't know. Um, all right, they're wandering around. Hopefully the background survives. Yeah, they've been quiet until I started up. Yeah, nothing new there. So yeah, Trump going, yeah, the whole 400 years. They want to put him in prison for 400 years, and once again, there's been things others have done far worse. So, and obviously, if they get Trump in jail, obviously it's going to be DeSantis is most likely going to win. He's their man. So we'll have to see how this goes. It's too early to tell at this point. So it's just a messy energy altogether. And also there's Skinny Bob. Skinny Bob. That's a weird name for an alien. This was, I guess, shot in the 40s. It's been on the internet for a while, even before I started channeling. Actually, I think that's when it was on. Yeah, right when I started it started to pop up. And it looks pretty real. It's a Zeta. I think there's more footage out there too, but I just grabbed what I could find. Um, but there's more footage of. I believe there's like some of them it was other grays too that are walking around. So I guess they didn't want to be filmed. I guess that's the narrative of it. Who knows? Who knows? But it looks pretty real. So whoever put that out there, I mean, that's actual disclosure. At least not a huge disclosure, but it's better than nothing. And also the Anunnaki. I haven't done one on them in a very long time. Usually that would be the first being I'd tap into. Of course, I've done the Anki stuff. I've done a lot of stuff in the past. But the Anunnaki moon, I just felt that those two are connected somehow. No surprise. Of course, the moon is part of the control of our physical realm, for better or for worse. There is, of course, the spiritual war going on. Well, it's different ways of looking at it. There's several different spiritual wars. There's the physical, there's a non-physical, and the physical war. Well, yeah, you can say they don't get along with each other. Let's put it that way. So there are beings that want to be here physical, just and they want nothing to do with the non-physical. Obviously, the non-physical don't always behave. You hear about the reptilians, you hear about that's just what we know. The gods that come here and start screwing around with humanity, you know. So there's a tug of war there. That's always going to go on. So this is not the only physical planet, obviously. Even the fourth and fifth dimensions, there's versions of physicality there, depending on where you go. But not all places are physical though. They have their version of it. It doesn't mean it's like this and all dense and everything. But it's like there's a physicality of it, but you have a bit more power. You can get sick less, you're just lighter. And yeah, however you want to look at that, it's a different way. You can go on and on with that one. So but you can say the moon was placed here to keep this world in a physical state. And I know somebody spiritual guru is on the earth to go into the higher vibrations and all that, but this world's going to do what it's going to do. And it's probably going to stay in a physical state as long as it can, because it has a lot of lessons here. And just like the whole alien disclosure, going to be alien disclosure 2030. It's like, where do you get that from? There's been people since probably the 50s been talking about alien disclosure. There's no real set date. But, there's many people that feel like Jesus is going to come back. So, more power to you on that one. You can drive yourself crazy thinking that too. So, yeah, it's just a complicated, it's not an easy, it's not easy in general. But the non-physical and the physical realms, yeah, because this world's not going to just because some people want it in a higher frequency doesn't mean it's going to just go there. I mean, it has to end. This planet itself has to be completed. Like everything has to be done. Everything that we're here to figure out. Obviously, we're here to keep this world from imploding. That's why many of us are here. But you've been here not just recently, but thousands of years ago too, to keep it from being destroyed. It's another way of looking at it. It's like, you're in a higher frequencies and you see all the suffering going on this planet, and you feel like, well, maybe I should try to help it a little bit. Maybe it might not be too much, but maybe I can help a little bit. So that's one of the reasons why many of us are here. I guess you feel sorry for the planet. I don't know how you want to look at that. It's not, when you look at the government corruption in the U.S., I mean, look at that. So San Francisco is now a war zone practically. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unlivable there, I guess. I mean, imagine there's some places there, but it's just unbelievable there. So that's the last place I think that would go under. Of course, Chicago's kind of on the brink of that, but not quite there. But of course, there's places in Chicago are pretty bad. New York hasn't hit that level just yet, but San Francisco is pretty much written off, which is messed up. Just it's I haven't been there, but it's like a classic, like a kind of like just a very, Americana energy there. Of course, it has a lot of elite energy, and that's probably one of the reasons why I went down, because it's too expensive to live there. So, well. Okay, we're going to the unknown here. So I'm talking comic prop sessions, maybe. Yeah, things are slow here for some reason. The scheduler. You have the shop here. Have the webinar, social network, behind the scenes, and archive. And I'm also going to this right now. You can get it over with here. Let's see, it worked out yesterday. Oh yeah. Yeah, when you look at it doesn't look like this is CG. Doesn't look like CG. Maybe he's doing homework. I don't think CG can do anything like this. Not like that. I mean, this is kind of strange. I mean, if they're not supposed to be videoed, why is he being videoed? And he knows about it, most likely. So you go wink at the camera. I guess it's shot in the 40s or the 50s. Feels like the 40s, actually. I'm not sure what this is about. I don't see anything there. I'll go back to. Okay, maybe we'll start it again. That's nice. I won't. And it's not playing again. Yeah, let's see if you can't really deny that one, that's for sure. I guess you can. You gotta deny it. Yeah, I'll try and bring it back up. I guess it's a little more successful in playback. Okay. There you go. I'm not sure if it's even working. There you go. Yeah, so it's I think he has 5 fingers. I mean, he's wearing a jumpsuit. I mean, you can't imagine walking around a head like that. I mean, he's not worrying about combing his hair or anything like that, or taking a shower. That's not one of their things. So they don't have to live our complicated life, and he's not working on his eyelashes or anything like that. I mean, at least he's wearing clothes. I think a lot of them don't even do that. So at least they're. He does feel like he's a bit of like a representative, like a government representative, at least from his group, at least. So this has been around the internet for a while now, but it feels very real. I don't want to see that again. Yeah, his eyes wink. Just I imagine many people can relate to that energy, though. So it's better than the Las Vegas one. It looks like some kind of wombat creature. It's like a cockroach alien. Some kind of mantis cockroach being from yesterday. Jeez. Lovely. Yeah, imagine if you're on a ship or here, but if you're on a ship and all of a sudden that thing shows up, look great. Like, yeah, that's right. So it's a wake-up call, that's for sure. All right. Okay, we're going to 400 years. The corruption's going on right now. Let's see where that goes. Canada and its lasers. Yeah, I'm kind of watching what I'm saying too, because you never know what YouTube's gonna do. And Skinny Bob and Anunnaki. All right, blessings. Greetings. We are consciousness of your planet, your timeline. We could say we are the watchers, you can say. Not that we need to really reveal who we are. It doesn't really matter. I can't tell who we are anyway. So, but as for your political Armageddon that's going on, well, they're trying to change the timeline. They're trying to keep Trump out of your main timeline. So it's when it's like, they're trying to, even there's also spell work being done there. So just basically the controllers feel like they're losing control. Well, they don't. Yeah, it's also bets to who can do this. It's almost like fighting Mike Tyson. So will they win or not is not clear at this time because I mean, in the physical realm, we cannot reveal. And that's just the way it is. Like, we can try to reveal, but as we connect more to your physical dimension, we cannot access that timeline accurately. Of course, you can always guess, use your intuition, do whatever you wish. As for the Canadian frequencies, follow your intuition. There's even things here we can't even say. That's also a triggering energy, and trigger others because yeah, the truth is stranger than fiction. So yeah, what's the first thing that comes to mind? There are definitely agendas behind it. This is not just a natural, even if it was just lightning. Who was behind the lightning? I mean, there's a lot of elemental energies here, as many of you know, like with your storms, your weather. It's not always necessarily your government. There could be other entities involved with it in other dimensions, as you know. So we'll just kind of hint at that. Yeah, you have to be careful, as you know. Many are sensitive, and you can really, yes, as they say, hit the head on the nail, and that can cause some ripple effects in your reality. So, well, if we're not going to go into, but you think you understand them. There's an agenda going on with the Canadian situation. Obviously, your mortal man and those running your news cycles are robots in their system. They're just basically machines. They're physical, but they're still kind of mental machines, easily to be controlled. Especially gives them a nice lifestyle. So of course they're going to propagandists, you could say, and they're going to do exactly. And are any of them, those news cycle, the people in part of this news cycle, are any of them really all that real? We're doing just looking for information, almost like they're robots. We're looking for information to put into your society, and if you have an actual soul, it's like none of this feels right. Like, I might work for these new agencies, but it's like, am I the only real person here? Because everyone else is robotic, and that could be also very true. Well, others are human, but they gave into the system. Obviously, they need to survive. So, but not always wanting to see the full picture, but some want to break out. Basically, it's kind of like going. Eventually, your world will go back into like more of a 1970s mentality, meaning that more truth to be said. Of course, that was a time of more. There are good things about it to a certain level. Obviously, there are agendas, but there's also more people during the old days are just more open. And some of you are doing it now, but obviously are being censored, heavily. But society in general was a little bit more open, to what is really going on. Not that you're trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but just aware that there's some crazy out there. And obviously you have that now, but the numbers are getting smaller and smaller. Of course, some are radicals at this point. And you don't have to be radical to know what's happening. Yeah, basically conspiracy theorists are being radicalized, as you can see. And that's not what we're talking about. Greetings. Where are the Zetas? What's up to you to just discover what your soul needs for this reality. Uh, Obviously, I mean, if you want to know more, you will find it eventually. Some do create it with their minds, like if they get impatient, so they start inventing ideas. Not to say all of those are wrong, but sometimes it is. You can mislead yourself, which happens a lot. It's basically, obviously, your world is under massive control, and connecting more to your inner truth is not as easy as it sounds. Of course, on other planets, it's just basically, you can just be whoever you want to be. It's like even as an infant, you just obviously have to learn manners, and even alien beings will teach your kids to stop making fun of everybody or whatever. Stop, use some respect towards others or a lot of respect. There's always going to be that. Even spirit beings have to learn that. Even if you're an energy being, you still have to learn how to, manners and some. Well, it's just, some remember, some don't. But obviously, there's so many agendas, so you can't figure out who you are for obvious reasons, because there's a system here basically that was designed to keep you from knowing yourselves. And you're here to dig that out. It's basically create generations where it's okay to be you. And obviously, many still close up, clam up. Like there's generations of humans that do open up, and there's generations that just say, "I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to shut down." So, but imagine many of you can tap into a reality where you can just be yourself, connect to whatever you want to, the higher dimensions, whatever it is, and feel more at peace with yourself. Basically, this world, the agendas here, they want people to like internally combust. They want people to go crazy. And that just shows a lot of who's running this planet. Because the entities that are running it, it's not necessarily always reptilians, but a lot of them are just insane. Yes, they get their kicks out of it. Without going into all the details of who it is, I think some of you have, yes, this is madness here. And you can tap more into how this all works to a certain level, as long as you don't yourself don't go crazy. Because that's what they want. There's other ways about knowing too much but still having knowledge. But there's this, and there's those I feel like they know everything, but some of them are not ready to see their own truth. Like they tell everyone how intelligent they are, but they're not willing to see it. Some of them are just, yeah, from the lower dimensions and don't want to realize it. But you're here to unlock yourself, yes, but at a reasonable rate. It just, there are many agendas here. Not everybody's seeing them. They're not quite there yet. Yeah, you might see it 5-10 years from now. Even some of these spiritual groups here, some are following and find out that there's an agenda there also. So it's unfortunate it has to be that way, but this world still hasn't learned its own lessons, as you can see. So lessons. Greetings to you. We are the Anunnaki consciousness. There are some Anunnaki that want you to grow and become prosperous and become the highest being you want to be. And there's others that want you to just die. And, or forever. Some have an ego that just cannot heal. I think one of them is Marduk. Some of them have not changed their ways yet. And yes, many are holding on to some of the Anunnaki. Well, it's like the Anunnaki energies, humans sometimes hold on to them. And it's kind of like high school. It's like you have someone real popular and then people think that they're their friend. That's what's happening to a certain level. Some of you actually know these beings and don't make a big deal about it. Others feel like they're connected to Enki and this is like this big deal. And it's really not. Enki just wants you to know yourself, like, many Anunnaki, but not everyone's going to be like, yes, there's a fight. There's a war between the Anunnaki still. And they're seeing how this plays out. Yes, there's some of them on the moon. Not that if you go to the moon, you'll see them. Basically, they connect to the moon's energy. They can feel what's happening here on the Earth. Basically, just kind of like monitoring. It's kind of like monitoring your news cycles. They just see what your moon cycles are. They feel they can connect to your Earth. Your Earth has become so toxic, as many of you can realize. So connecting to your moon is easier. They get the same information without being energy attacked. So it's like the moon is kind of like a galactic television. Well, not exactly like how but like I say, they can feel the vibrations of it, can give them images, it can just give you some idea of what's going on with the Earth. Let's put it that way. And a lot of these alien groups is a neutral connection. There are some that feel like they have to test humanity. to figure themselves out. So, like a being that has a lot of issues, they come to Earth and they cause difficulties here, and they see if humans bite. If they start bringing in those mannerisms themselves, and so that's when that being is like, look, now I'm on Earth because these people need to go through what I'm going through. So, and it's free will. Other people, you just don't see these beings, but you can feel their agendas. Some of you clear out those agendas, but you can feel that some of them are trying to, every now and then, trying to influence. But a lot of your people here are very much influenced, as you can see. Such as looking at certain spiritual groups being pulled into that. Some of the Anunnaki are involved with that. Also, they like to be worshipped. Yeah, I'm not quite clear their ego yet. Well, they feel like they're doing what is right, so why clear out an ego when there's nothing wrong with you? So it's not all Anunnaki influencing, but there is a presence here. I'm not going to say where, when, how. No, I'm not going to do that. Their warning is just as you. They're just warning as galactic beings in a different way, of course.